a ton of people, and that was part of the crew. Kenny Crabbins, really a world-class bass player. Always played great stuff. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. You go ahead and ask. I'll answer.
No, don't let that bother you. This is your stage. We want to hear it from you. As a matter of fact, right. I was going somewhere with my train of thought, which, as I am wont to do, got derailed somewhere along the line there. I did want to mention the fact for the listeners that little track we played just before we introduced Phil was a radio promo for Little Feat and a show they were doing back, I'm not sure, I'd say maybe about 1980?
That's about right, yeah.
Yeah, it was back there somewhere, and I want to thank you for sending us that track. I did shorten it a little bit because we wanted to make sure we had plenty of time to talk to you, and I just wanted to have a little something there to make the transition and maybe reach some of the new listeners who might not have been familiar with your music. They might, a lot of our listeners might even be too young to remember Little Feat, but hey, it's somebody that they should know, and they can go find a ton of your music online. There's a lot of Little Feat music online. Now, you worked in the studio and toured with them during the time you were with them?
Yes. The touring with them was probably 4 to 6, maybe 7 months. We did a lot of dates. We did a lot of Little Feat songs, and believe it or not, they were fans of mine, and we did almost half of my songs, different songs that I had submitted for the band. We met in L.A., of course, but a quick story, there's a very famous rehearsal hall called The Alley. Everybody from Loggins and Messina, Little Feat, so many people played this place. And it was a 2-story building with the roof cut out of it, plenty of room for the band to come in, a lot of artwork on the walls. It was really a fabulous place to be, but they had invited me down to play, and there were a number of other guitarists. I think they hired me because I could sing, and I was pretty good friends with everybody. So I'll never forget, we did one of their tunes, and within maybe a minute of playing, I was laughing so hard that never had I played with the rhythm section quite like that. They're so powerful. That's why Zeppelin loved them, and the Who loved them, the Stones loved them, everyone did. So, and of course I did. It was a dream come true for me. At one point, we were all laughing so hard we started crying. We had to stop playing. Well, looks like you're the guy, Phil. You all right with this? And I said, sure. So it's really an incredible experience.
Fantastic. John Bon Jovial, I know you're just itching to jump in here. What you got for us?
Well, Phil, actually, you brought up something that probably was one of my more pleasantly surprised memories, if you will. You mentioned Delaney and Bonnie, and I remember seeing them years ago at the Tea Party in Boston, which was just a wonderful show. But also being totally surprised. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie starring Barry Newman called Vanishing Point.
Yes. I remember that movie.
Delaney and Bonnie are in Vanishing Point. And, it's a cult classic movie. It's one of my favorite movies. And but I remember the very first time I saw that, and it's like, hey, I just saw them like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it was a great thing. It really was. But, look, as far as, you're concerned and Little Feat, I am familiar with your work, and it is just such a pleasure to have you on the program. And I know that Little Feat is in your past, and probably everybody always asks you, hey, tell us about Little Feat. Tell us about Little Feat. But I want to know more about what you're doing now. What's driving Phil Brown today?
Well, I put a new band together. There is a fellow that I met, an incredible bass player. It's from Atlantic City, back east. And it turns out that we had met probably almost 40 years ago. He's played with so many great people, but we never got to meet until about 5 years ago. I'm in Nashville, and he drove out here a couple of days ago and said, let's do something. Great blues player, great singer, great bass player, tall. He's about 6'5", good shape, good looking guy, and just sings his butt off. We're around the same age. We're observable. Anyway, we've known each other and many friends, and decided, let's do this. So he's at my house, and we've been putting a set of some great songs together. He's a great songwriter, so we're combining our forces as singers and songwriters as a trio. And we have a guy that's going to play with us named Larry Thompson. He's a drummer that's played with everyone from Dizzy Gillespie to James Brown to a lot of blues guys. Nathaniel, Noah Peterson, is my friend that's here. He was a protege of, believe it or not, the original bass player. Tell me, your bass player friend in Chicago. Willie Dixon. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
And,
yeah.
Tons of other guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was the guy. Anyway, he was like 16, and he's also played with Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, and he's a Grammy Award-winning guy, was a famous guitarist, legendary guitarist. Tell me again. Hubert Someone. And they did a record with Eric Clapton and Keith Richards and all the kind of people. It was a great record. I think Hubert died a few years ago, but certainly contributed a lot. And the blues was a really big part of my life, mainly from the English musicians. They didn't play a lot of black music on the radio. They could if you were safe. I don't consider Louis Armstrong safe, but he was an incredible musician that somehow made it through. There's some great guys that did, but those
Louis
guys
Armstrong
gave me my life.
He was a genius.
Yeah,
he was an absolute genius. Louis Armstrong was.
And this is a good point right here, since we're kind of transitioning the conversation into today's Phil Brown. Let's give the audience a taste of what you're doing today with a little thing you passed on to us called Forever.
That's right. I took a hot dive off a low board. I went 10 miles wide when love went to war. Got a go 16 jack, and I never looked back. Everything you do, anything you want. Sometimes it's all in your mind. I seen the winter out, my discontent. I rode the midnight train, but it made no sense to ride a one-trick pony like a Cheshire cat, disappearing to reappear to three. It takes only seconds to fly. Way up here, it's everywhere. Watch God make love, and no one cares. It's part of the world you see. Feels like we'll all live forever. Yes, we will. You're my Phil. Yeah. So let it be written, so let it be done. Power is addictive. Power is fun. I'm talking about the good things. I want you to stay. Every time you bring it, even more to say. The next time's the right time when life comes true. Now you can wonder why, while a dream or two wanders by. It's part of the world you see. Feels like we all live forever. anything you want. Sometimes it's all in your mind.
What a great track. That's Phil Brown.
Oh, man, that's great.
We've just made a transition from 1980 to 2018 in the space of about 4.5 minutes. So
that's all right.
If we can keep up with you here, tell us a little bit about how you have transitioned to what you're doing today with the Apaches from Paris.
It's what I've always done. I found out about you guys through booking agent named Veronica.
Right.
And we became friends on a social platform. The music business is so much different these days. The era of the big record companies is basically gone. I wrote a lot of songs for a lot of different artists, through the years. Cher, Pat Benatar, Depeche, Kicks, a bunch of other hair bands. It's been a really interesting career. But now, for the first time, I seem to have come to myself in some way, and I guess that happens as you get older. You just become more sure of who you are and what you are. And I still write, always going to, until I don't breathe anymore. And the songs are more orchestrated, and then I still love the blues. Everything I do comes from that. This new thing is Apaches from Paris. We're putting a new record together, Nathaniel and I, as we speak. And I don't know if we're going to do it in Europe or we're going to do it here. But we're definitely on track. And I just feel great that I'm still able to do this. I have my health. I should have made an announcement. I was sober 33 years yesterday.
I saw that, and I congratulate you on starting 34. That's
excellent.
Thank you. It's a long freaking time, but you know what? It just feels great to be well. Really feels like I take care of myself, and I'm one of the lucky ones, I guess.
John
I tell you what, Phil. We always want to look forward to the future, and you're right. With age comes a certain level of contentment. Anyway, that we don't have when we're in our 20s or our 30s, because we just have not gone through all those battles yet. It takes, by the time you get into your 60s or 70s, it's like, you can look back on it and say, yeah, okay, I survived that. But I want to go back on the past for a second, because I want to touch on Forever for just a second. I heard, I've been a lifelong fan of Frank Zappa. And
oh God, yes.
There were parts of that song that I just heard that, to me, I was listening to Phase 1 of Lumpy Gravy, We're Only in It for the Money. That album that came out in 1967, an absolute masterpiece. You laugh, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes, the one cut in there, they keep repeating over and over, "Are you hung up?" And I'm hearing that in this song, and I am so impressed with the way that you were able to blend that influence